Okay guys, let's look at Craftsman transmissions. General Transmission makes these. So I'm using one of these. I love these knives. It's kind of like a scraper slash hide knife slash whatever. I love it. I put one on this end, a couple of them. And whatever you can find, if you can sharpen it a little bit, I wouldn't make it too sharp, but sharpen it a little bit and slip it in, work your way around, right? And just lightly, I'm not putting any effort here, try to work it in. That's why you want it a little sharp. You want to be careful with this. You know, sometimes it's hard to find an edge to where you can go without damaging the body. That's why you kind of want it sharp. There you go. So you want to let it kind of go in on its own. What you're doing is you're cutting the sealant they use. It's pretty heavy sealant. It's a type of RTV. You'll see inside here in a minute. What I'm doing is I have a transmission over here that the spring and all that got really rusty and it wasn't really moving well. And this one I got out of that piece of junk. Probably one of the very few things that I got. This one seems to work okay. And you just want to work your way around. And then you're going to put a screwdriver in it. So that side's good. This side looks pretty good. Yeah, we're good. We're good all the way through. Let's grab our screwdriver. And you'll see what I'm doing in a little bit, why I'm doing this. Because I need this housing. Again, like I said, I'll show you in a second. Let's see how dry this is, if it is at all. Here we go. See, it's coming up. I don't know how many of you guys have done this before, if any. I know I haven't really done it a lot. I haven't needed to. But this is coming out pretty nice. Now this one is dry. The other one came out much nicer. This one is pretty dry, like everything else in this. It's, you know, it's crap on that lawnmower. But so here's what's going on, okay? So I need this gear, and I don't know if it's the same size or what, but we're going to find out, okay, if the housing is the same. The housings look similar. This one looks a little dirtier, so it's brown. This one's clean, but the shaft is longer on the 22-inch body, and that's this shaft. This looks real good. Everything was good. The problem with it was the spring, the return spring in here was no good. Okay, it had locked up, and so it was not returning. It was so stuck. So now let's get the rest of it out. All right. So here's what I did. We're going to clean this up really, really good. Basically, this comes out. You should be able to pull it straight out. It might be stuck in there. You may have to pry a little bit. Okay. It's coming. There we go. See? It comes straight up. So we're going to hold on to that. And we're just going to put this to the side. This is a decent shaft. It looks like it's okay. Maybe we'll clean it up and put it away. But let's just put it to the side for a little bit. And let's get this housing mopped up a little. See, there was almost no lubricant in here. So we're going to fix that. We're going to get it cleaned out. I happen to have some slop that I like to use. And we'll get it cleaned up nice. See, these bearings don't sound as good as my other one. And maybe we can swap that out too, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. So let's put my shaft aside for a few minutes. And let me get my other stuff. here's my other housing. It's this part of the housing. You see, it's much cleaner, right? So if we might clean this one up instead of this guy that we just took off, because that's pretty naggy. Right, so let's just get everything cleaned up nice, and I'll show you the other shaft. So what did I do with the other part of the housing? Here it is. I don't know. I don't know if we can replace just this part of the housing. So my issue is you can see this spring here. This system works pretty good. Now I don't know how that comes off. I think it might just pop out. I think we can then take it off and we can reuse the spring. Look at how nice that gear looks. And I don't hear any grindy. Listen to this. Hear it? You know, why so grindy, huh? Now maybe we can make that work better. Let's get it cleaned up. So if not, we'll try to take the spring off and we'll keep this one. Let's just see. What the spring is what I want. I want to be able to free it up and make it work good. So I'm going to clean this up and we're going to see what comes of it, and I'll show you guys in a bit. Alright, and we're back with the rebuild, transmission rebuild, and this is, just to recap, this is the transmission from a Craftsman front wheel drive, 22-inch. It's an older one, and as it turns out the parts were pretty good. What we really needed was the spring and this lever assembly, so we're pretty much golden here. So what we're going to do, alright, we've got everything we need. This is the bottom or base of it, and this one spins pretty good. That was the one from the tractor, from the transfer case, from the old one. Look at this one. This is from that piece of crap that I got from that guy. And again, just junk. Alright, so what do we do? Alright, what do we need to do? Yeah. Let's put this in. Now this just snaps right in. I think it goes just this way. And there's a seal in there. Okay. And it's in good shape. I'm just going to pop that right in. And then pull the spring over. And check to make sure it's in all the way, and you'll know when it comes down all the way. You might want to take the spring tension off while engaging it. And it's got to come down all the way, and it spreads out. See, it spreads out, and what locks it really in there is this. So when you put this in later, that'll make sure it's locked. So get it, make sure it's down all the way. If you want to give it a little tap. Okay, it's down. Now we want to check to make sure she's working good. Let's see if we can get the spring in. Up, pull it out. Let's try again. Make sure it's down. Now, I should be able to just ramp up on that spring. Try a few ways. It wants to pull back out again. And we don't want it to pull out. It's close, so let's see if we can knock it down. It looks like it's in. Yeah. Now that should work, hopefully. Yeah, see? See how it returns? And it'll get lubricated. Okay. We'll put a little bit of light lube in it for now, so we know we have some lube in it. Alright, we're ready to go. So what's next? Okay. Well, I'm going to go get some RTV, and we're going to lay this transmission assembly inside, and I need to find a way to hold this up out of the way so that when I go to fill it. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. I just want to give you guys an update. I'm going to have to put this in something to hold it up, maybe some kind of can or something. We're going to go find something, and I'll be back, and we'll start put it together. Okay, I got my RTV, and so I'm going to put this on. I'm just coating it. I want to make sure I get it all in down here. I cleaned everything off best I could. I want it to stick, and I used a little bit of my mineral spirits with lacquer thinner. This will take a little bit, okay, so bear with me. I know you can't really see what I'm doing, so if I have to fast forward, I will. We want to make sure we get it in all those grooves, but you don't want too much because it's going to come out all over the place when those grooves start compacting down. And I've got some 70 weight, 70-90, what is this? 75-90 oil. You can smooth this with your finger if you want. I'm not going to. Seems like it's doing a pretty good job as it is. It's just like a regular, rear end, rear axle of a car, pinion gear and what have you. But we want to make sure we get a good seal in here. It's a lifetime lubricated. Never have to screw with it again. Okay. That's one side. Let's do the other. Once I get this together, I'll clean up for the night. I've been cleaning up throughout the day, going through all my stuff. Whatever I don't really need. You could make the tip bigger if you want. I don't even need a tip, I just put the tip on. A lot of times the tip is a waste, it really is. If you want to use your finger, it's even better. But the tip is good for when you need to get in tight to something, which is not really the case right here. The only place you need to get in tight is where the seals for the axle shafts are. That looks pretty good. It's going to take a decent amount of RTV to do this because this is the only thing that seals it. So the idea is to put it together, assemble the transmission together into its main housing.
Dad,
Yeah,
dinner.
I'll be there in a minute. I want to get this all on. time I'm done with dinner, this will set up. We'll come back. This will be good. So this is one of the things that I needed to know was going to work for me, because this transmission belongs to that mower body, and without it I can't have a 22-inch cut, because I don't have another transmission and I'm not spending money. That's it. Basically I've covered everything. It has so many grooves in it that you're going to wind up sealing it. Alright, so when I come back, this will be enough, and then I can go in to drop the transmission into place, put the pole in, and then we'll fill it and close it up. Okay, I'm back. We're ready for assembly. Alright, so we've got everything glued up. It's been sitting for a little while, not for very long. And so what we have to do now is assemble the gears. Now there's really not much to this, okay? It has to go in this direction. And we're not worried about lubricating, because we're going to do that before we put it on. So the gear, okay, if you look, the gear has to go in this direction. So we're going to lay it down like that, right? And the next part that we have to try to get in is this pole. Okay, so when you go and lay it down in there, and it's a little bit easier when it's a little more dry, we're going to assemble it this way. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I hope so. I'm doing the best I can. Now, I'm going to try to put it in all at the same time. We have to try to drive this in, and it should go in without much ado. I know it's a bit of a pain in the neck to get it out. And it's not that easy to do. It kind of comes back this way. Alright, so you're going to have to use a few different hands here, and in order for it to go in, you're going to have to drive it in. So it's always a good idea to actually let this stuff set up a little bit. It's not going to be easy to do, is it? You may want to do it on the vise somehow. This gets driven in there. Alright, there we go. See how it wants to go in? So you kind of have to sneak it in. And we're going to align it. Like, you have to move it with your left hand. See? Get these into position. Push it down in. Holding the back of this arm here that pulls on that pole. Driving it down as far as you can. Now it'll seat itself. Alright? And that's it. See how that just went in there? Right? See? And you can actually see it start to work. Now we're going to rotate it a little bit. Check it. See, it's spinning free. And when you rotate it in, see, this one comes in and out, which is what it didn't do before. When it comes in, it locks. When it comes out, it ratchets out of the way. That's it. Alright? That's all there is to it. Now, that's why I say it's nice to let the RTV set up a little bit. Now, if you really wanted to, if you're really concerned, alright, we're going to have to set this up on something that will hold it so I can put the gear lube in. I'm not sure what. This seems to work. and we have to prop it up underneath with something, like a cap or something like that. Let's see if I have a little cap underneath here. Just enough to prop it for now. So we can get the gear loop in there and put the screws on. So this will work. This little cap that I stuck underneath there. Alright? That'll work. Alright? We'll put a little 90 weight in. We're going to fill it about halfway up on the bottom. Push it over a little bit more. A little bigger container would be good too. Let's put a little gear lube in. Try not to get it on the seal area. You don't need much. Believe me, it'll spin around. That's it. Just put in a little bit because it's going to fly around as it's turning. It's going to get picked up by the bottom. Okay. Now this goes on. Give it a chance to settle in there. That's it. It went down. And I'm going to pick my best screws, which what the hell knows? Who knows what the hell that is? Doesn't matter. I suppose if you wanted to, you could put a little more RTV on. I don't see a purpose in that. Just take the screws with the best tips. You don't want to strip it. Try to take the ones with the cleanest. I'll hold on to these because they're useful. You hear it. See, and as soon as you breaks that skin on the top, the goo from underneath will reactivate the RTV. This is good because this is going to allow me to restore that chassis. Well, this machine will be really nice because it'll be fully serviced, and probably pull that motor off of that suction machine. I'll get to that last. Tomorrow I'll restore the chassis and we'll get a view on that. That's it. So let's just tighten it up. Oh, that was a little bit loose. The RTV will lock it in. Hand tight, that's all you need. It's plastic. It's oozing out too. That one's a little loose. If that one doesn't lock down, we're going to put something in there to make it lock up after it's dry, before I install it. Alright, that's it. That's it, guys. And so now this works. Alright, let's just move this out of the way. Let's put the pulley on. Okay, so right now it's not turning. This shaft, when I pull it in, it'll lock. See? It's spinning. And it's quiet. Right? Now we need this pulley's in decent shape. This is the other pulley. It's stuck on here. I think this pulley's a little bit better here. So let's put the pulley on. And we'll take the better nut. And we're going to tighten it. In fact, what we can do is just put on my impact on low. It's already chucked up for that. It doesn't take much. I'll just grab it. Just a quick flap. Yep. You know, that's how these things are. That should do it. Ain't going nowhere. That's it. Now we have good action on it. It's quiet. Okay, you're never going to hear it. We're done. And so tomorrow we can install, we won't install this tomorrow because I'm going to paint everything, but we're good to go here, and we can throw out all the extra junk. I don't want any of this. This is broken. This piece might have some use, but I don't know how to get that out, so we could look into that. This is just to bump it back up again. So we're going to put this to the side, and we're good for now. I'm going to go see if I can get a pulley off and do a little more cleanup. Okay guys, I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm just going to update you a little bit. I'm just going to put these clips on. Now what I did was I took these, I didn't take them fully apart. You know, I took all this off. I think I showed you guys redoing the transmission. These I put up on the bench vise, I laid them down on the bench, and I lubricated them, and I work them back and forth until they move, because they get rusted into place. So I put a lot of lubricant, penetrating, and then regular oil. And then once I got them working, then I installed them on the machine here. So I'm just putting the gears on now. I'm going to put the clips on, make sure they're in place. And I bought new tires, but for some reason or another, there's some difference between some of these. This fits inside, but not very well. I have a bigger one. I don't know what happened to the others. I must have thrown them out because they got damaged. This one fits over. I think it fits better. And I want to check the ones that I have outside on another machine. Okay, well, we got the wheels on. Okay, these are the new wheels. They're really nice. That's eBay stuff, you know. It's just Chinese stuff, whatever. But there's a good lawnmower wheel. And these are the covers. So I've pickled a couple of covers for this machine. Apparently they need the bigger ones. This was pretty naggy and rusty, but I put it aside and I cleaned it up. And if I have to make an adjustment for the blade, I will. We're going to leave it the way it is for now, but it's in there. Now I'm going to flip it around, move it around the other way, and I got to look at the wheel adjusters for this side, and I have them over there, and I got to see how they fit, and we'll get those wheels on next.